Today, we're excited to welcome Campbell, a dynamic talent with roots in Paris, Cameroon and Ivory Coast. Fearlessly chasing her dreams from a young age, she's made her mark in cities like Amsterdam and Barcelona. As a DJ, producer and founder of the women-empowered label SCPPG, Campbell is on a mission to ensure women in the industry are recognized for their talent, not just as a diversity tokens. Join us as we explore what fuels her passion and discover how she found her way to Amsterdam.
That's a good question. Well, guys, nice to meet you, to meet you. My name is Campbell, aka Kamikaze Uzi. I'm a DJ, a producer, and a label owner. It's been now approximately 10 years that I'm in Amsterdam, and I'm from France.
Being a musician, I was wondering, what is your first memory of music? Childhood memory or something that's really locked this passion of music into your heart?
Well, I will say that growing up I was surrounded by music, you know, it's just the black culture, music everywhere in the house, in the car, at gathering. Growing up, I actually started to get into music by listening to music, trying to sing the music, and then also writing lyrics. And I remember this really specific moment when I was really young, and I was actually saying to my grandma, when I want to be older, I want to be a singer. But I was really shy about it. So she was like, okay, sing something for me. And I was like, no, grandma, I cannot. So she came up with this amazing idea. So she was like, okay, you're going to call me and I'm not going to pick up the phone and you're going to sing on the voicemail. And this is exactly what I did. I sing on the voicemail and then she called me back after and she was like, oh, that's so cute. I was singing terribly. But you know, that was the grandma love and the support. So I always get that kind of support from my family, which is really important for me, and which I think you also need to be able to go further with that.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the tracks your parents, your family used to play at home?
It was a lot of African music. So you had Bikutsi from Cameroon. You had Coupé Décalé from Ivory Coast, so which is also a genre of dance and musical style as well. So it was mostly music from Ivory Coast and Cameroon, also a bit of Congolese, a lot of Zouk, which is also from the French islands. So it was a mix of that cultural black music genres. Yeah.
Nice. You've been living in Amsterdam for 10 years now. How is it being a creative entrepreneur in Amsterdam? And then how is it compared to Paris and Barcelona where you lived?
Well, I think being a creative in Amsterdam is amazing. When I moved from Paris, Paris is, how can I explain that? So you have the ideal vision of Paris, that is the city of fashion, of creativity, of artists. You have Basquiat and all of these people, you know, but actually being truly an artist in Paris, until you make it, people just think that you have your head in the clouds. So you're not really acknowledged until that successful moment. Whereas in Amsterdam, people value you all along your journey. So from the starting point until the moment you actually make it. And I think it's really important to have this 360 kind of vision of everything, and not only valuing things when they're working, but also seeing all the behind the scene work that is involved into that success. And I feel like Amsterdam is a perfect city for that. I also felt that in Barcelona. I met a lot of creative people. I was actually really impressed by it, because coming from Amsterdam to Barcelona, I was a bit like, oh, how is this gonna be? But it was actually really cool. I started to mix when I was in Barcelona. I continued with my production when I was in Barcelona. I started the label when I was in Barcelona. And I just took all of this and just came back to Amsterdam with it, and perfect playground. Yeah.
I think it's also, even though Amsterdam has like this creative bubble, which is very comfortable, I think it's always good to get out of that.
Yeah.
So what was it that inspired you in Barcelona to kind of step it up?
I think it's the change, because I was already 4 years in Amsterdam when I decided to move to Barcelona, and the power and the energy that you get from moving abroad in a new city and meeting new people, and it was just a lot of different influences that just pushed me to actually kind of I would say that Amsterdam opened my mind and my heart to the idea of doing it. I didn't define yet what I really wanted to do. And in Barcelona, everything kind of really got into context. And I was like, okay, this is the vision and this is what I'm going to do. And I also allow myself to think deeper and not to be scared, to be brave. Yeah, it's just the energy of being in a new country. Like, it really shake things up for me.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to be quite well connected in the creative scene in Barcelona and here, and yeah, really like doing your own thing. Is there a brand or maybe another artist, if you could pick anyone to collaborate with, who would that be and what would you like to do?
So inevitably, I will say the one and only, my queen, Honey Dijon. I respect her so much. I love her so much as an artist, but also as the person behind the artist, you know. Usually they will tell you, never meet your idols, they're always full of shit. And I'm like, I met her and I want to see her again and I want to work with her and I want to collaborate with her. She's I don't know how to explain it. I'm a really empathic person, so I go a lot for the emotion I feel when I meet someone, when I see someone, when I hear about someone. And from all her parkour, where she's coming from, what she's been through, and she has seen the industry growing like probably nobody have seen it before, you know. She's so talented. She also produced, she has been working with Beyonce, with Madonna as well. I don't know, I feel like she just connects people, you know, and it's so inspiring, and especially as a Black artist, it's amazing. So that would definitely be Honey Dijon.
Would you mind telling us something about the projects you have coming up? I also saw something coming by.
Yeah, so basically since I started to produce, aka 4 years ago, I've set a challenge for myself to release one EP every year. Like, there is nothing that will stop that from happening. The previous year, the challenge was to release an EP, but I wanted to make really long tracks. So it was the first time that I made 10-minute long tracks, which was really a hell of a journey. That was really nice. So for this year challenge, after talking with my mastering guy, Ruben, which is a genius on this earth, we were talking about how can I actually try to post more music of myself. And I was like, okay, then maybe what I can do, instead of just releasing one EP per year, which is like actually one big release, why not release one release per month, exactly at the same date? And that's how I came up with the project 412. So coming from producing 10 minutes long track, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make them way shorter. So every track is 4 minutes long precisely, and it's going to be for a period of 12 months. So that's how I came up with the name 412. There is a lot of work behind that in terms of visuals and also of artwork. I was working with a friend of mine, Yannick, which is a really talented artist as well, where we actually took zoomed in picture of really powerful stones in terms of meaning and emotion and visuals, how they look like. So every stone is actually going to be the art cover for a track. And I'm going to also be sharing the meaning behind every stone, which is also really powerful. I'm also working on some visuals that I shot actually 4 years ago when I was in Barcelona, and I never got the chance to use. So all of this, I feel, is just coming in together for that project, and I'm really excited about it. Really excited about it. There is already one track out, came out on 21 of August, which was my birthday date, called Continental. And yeah, every 21st of the month for 1 year, I will be releasing a track.
And what is your music production process like? Do you get up, take a coffee, do some sports, or is it more like a, I don't know, a late night thing for a lot of DJs, producers, the inspiration comes like late at night. Can you tell us something a little bit about that?
So to start with, I will say that I'm a Logic girl. I use Logic. I've been shamed a lot of time, but I don't give a fuck. I love Logic. So
Fruity Loops is still being used as well, I think. So
you know, there is no shame. If you're creative, just do what you had to do. Just
for sure.
Matter. You know, that's the most important. I will also say that I'm a night owl, so by night I get really, really creative. And I'm a person that like to take my time, you know. I like to be, okay, maybe I will do it tomorrow, or maybe I will do it after tomorrow. So I really have to condition myself to really get into that space of, okay, I'm gonna produce. So for example, everything needs to be connected, because if there is one cable and then I turn into a sound engineer and then I'm like, okay,
out of the flow.
Yeah. So that doesn't help, but it taught me a lot as well into resilience, you know. So basically my process is that I open Logic, I have my MIDI keyboard, and then I just start, because I never actually study music. I'm always going with my ears, and also when I'm mixing, I'm just purely going with my ears. So I'm just playing around and finding a melody, adding some drums, some bass, some hi-hats. There is also a program that I love to use, which is called Loop Cloud, which also give me an inspiration sometimes when I need a certain loop with a certain style or certain genre or vocals. I can go there and just export one loop and then play around that. Or I can just start the structure of the track and I'm like, something is missing, so I will go in Loop Cloud and find the missing gem, I will say. But mostly what I do is going with the flow and how I feel and what I hear, because I'm just like, if I can move myself and dance on it, that's it. I have already did what I wanted to do, you know. So mostly this is that for me. I'm not really like a practical person in that sense. I never studied music, which I think I would like to, because in a way it's kind of also blocking me into what I could potentially do if I had the skills, but it also never blocked me to actually start to do stuff, you know. So never say to yourself, oh, I didn't study music, or oh, I don't know how to use this or use that, because you just gotta have it in front of you and just play a bit around with it, and then that's actually how you can teach yourself.
Well, that's what I want to ask. For me, production for me, really like tweaking, playing around. It's
exactly.
Not like I try to make melodies, but that's not the way I really work. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for me, it's just like stuff that comes out, and like, yeah. Do you also experience, like, depends on your mood? Like, do you have slower, faster music? Like,
I do, and it's actually funny because mostly what I produce is never what I mix. And people were actually complaining. They're like, you should mix your tracks. Campbell, do it. And I'm like, but it's so strange. Like, what I like to dance on, what I like to mix, and what I produce is so different. I mean, it's not different like it's like hip hop and jazz, you know. It's still in the electronic music rhythm, but there is so many subgenres and so many influences, you know, that it's also sometimes difficult for me to set a category of genre into the tracks I'm making. Okay, it's this progressive techno house, deep minimal, because I have so much influences that I'm just adding everything in one track.
We should just stop thinking in boxes anyway.
Exactly. And even if you think it's that box, the thing that initiated your creativity are maybe coming from another box. So you still have to take that into consideration, you know?
But why can't it exist altogether? Is it that this box thinking?
Yeah, I think it makes maybe it makes us safer to categorize things and be okay, this is it and this is that, you know. Some people are like that, and some other people actually strive in chaos. They're like, oh, okay, which is a bit of me, but I'm trying to also be a bit more, you know, organized, which is really important when you're a business owner and an artist as well. But yeah, mostly I go with my mood, with how I feel. Also, the way I organize my tracks as a DJ, I don't organize them by genre. I organize them by month. So if you check my USB right now, you will see it's like January tracks, February tracks, more tracks because I'm just into how did I feel that month, what was my mood behind the track I downloaded that month. And what I really like is that sometimes I can go back to, oh, how did I feel in January 2021, you know? Okay, let's go back in the folder, beam, oh damn, I was mixing that, and you know? So as I said, I'm a really emotional person, and I just build my whole life around that. Yeah.
I've actually tried all of it. So genres, but then what you're saying, it's hard to put some tracks into certain genres. Try to do it by mood, but it's still also a bit vague.
True.
Then I tried it by month as well.
Yeah.
As well as maybe a set that I've played somewhere, but now it's still just a chaos, I guess.
Maybe you need to find a way to combine everything together.
Yeah.
Like in the month, you put the mood and the genre.
So you explained a little bit how the scene was in Paris. But what made you pick Amsterdam, and what brought you here exactly? Or did you already experience the scene here before?
Well, when I decided to move in Amsterdam, I was just 20 years old. That was the first time going out of my parents' house. And I'm a really bold person. I'm adventurous, nothing scares me. Spiders scares me. But except that I just love to take risks in life. Most of my friends will tell you, Campbell, you're crazy, just think before you act, but I think fast and I act fast. So when I moved here, I was only 20 and I was not really into that music vibe. It's really after a year or so when I started to meet a lot of creative people that I was like, oh, actually Amsterdam is a city where you can be creative. So it connected with that musical part of me that I had when I was younger, from my family, as I said from before. In France is when you start as an artist, it's like, no, but your head is in the clouds. You need to get a real job. So I always had this mindset moving here. And then I saw that everybody was head in the clouds. And I was like, wait, no, you can actually, make it strive and try. But that was almost a year after I moved here, because I had to meet people and to experience it a bit, So yeah, but when I came, I was definitely not thinking, oh, I'm gonna come here to make music. I came here because it's really close. I came a couple of times to visit with my friends, and I was like, wow, this city is so cool. You can smoke. There is nice parties, nice music. People are chill. Weather is shit, but compared to Paris, it's not such a big of a difference. And English, I love English. So for me, it was a really cool opportunity to develop that English side of me. And mostly it's really close to Paris. So in 3 hours and a half, I take the train and I'm back home. So yeah.
Kamikaze Uzi, if you would describe her as a person, what would she be like persona?
I will say that I'm really warm, but still mysterious at the same time. So also really open-minded and really curious about life, non-judgmental as well. So it's kind of like I have this nonchalance about me where it's like, you do you, boo. Like, if you're happy, do that. Do
Je ne sais quoi.
Exactly, so je ne sais quoi. But at the same time, I also like people to give me my freedom. And for that, I have no problem setting my boundaries, But yeah, that would be the words I would use to describe myself.
But I guess that's something you had to learn through the years as well. That one experience, I guess. Yeah, so about the label. You explained a little bit about how you wanted to set up something that you could be yourself, that was in line with your own values. And I think it's also something really from this time, inclusivity, but at the same time, of course, exclusivity. But what if there will be a man, for example? Can they join the label? Or
that's a really hard question because I feel like I got shamed a lot as well because from my male friends.
Oh yeah.
They were like, oh, why you only do like a female label? Like, I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
But that's my mission, Everybody has his own mission, his own thing he needs to work for or against, And from my own experience, from what I had, my mission was just to empower women. And it can feel a bit exclusive indeed, but it comes from a willingness to include actually a minority that was not being seen. So I understand that it's kind of like the butterfly effect where, okay, I do that because I get pain from something, but now I'm also excluding the other people that might have pain and then do something that will exclude everybody. But it really, really started from a feeling of inclusion. And even though I don't sign men, all of my friends and all the people I have in the industry around me and all the people I'm collaborating with are men. And I'm really inspired by them. I love to work with them. But it's just that as the label, that will be the female empowerment. And that's just what it will be, you know.
That's what the mission is.
Exactly.
But always open to collaboration.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I collaborate with a lot of male in Amsterdam, in Barcelona, in Paris, in my life in general, you know. I'm a daddy's girl, so I love that. But I also love my women, so I'm trying to find a way.
Something about yourself or something you experienced in your life, or maybe just something that people won't expect of you that you would like to share with the audience?
Well, I think something that is really special about me and that really makes me unique without being pretentious is the scars I have on my face. So when I was 8, I had an accident, a boat accident. Which is a really crazy story. I'm not gonna go deep into that story, but that's basically the first thing that you see when you see me. You see my scars, and some people, there was always two types of people. There is the people I met and they directly ask me what happened, you know, and they're also really cautious about the word they use, but they're just straight, what happened. And then you have some other people that actually never actually ask me, or they waited until a year of friendship even. And then they're like, what happened to you, Campbell? Because they thought that I was traumatized by it, or that I feel maybe diminished by it or handicapped by it. And actually this whole experience that I have going through having scars on my face and the accident I had when I was really young actually did the reverse effect on my life. I'm really bubbly, I'm really open, I'm always laughing, always happy. Of course, sometimes I'm sad, like everybody, but I'm a really optimistic and positive person. And I feel like having this on my face actually brought me more opportunity and more life experience that I would have maybe never had the chance to experience without having that. I started to model when I moved to Barcelona, which is something I was never thinking of. Some friends are like, oh, you should try. And I was like, have you seen my face? But that's actually the unique point. That's my USP.
For sure. I also casted you for a top secret project we will hear about more later.
Yeah. So I will say that's a big thing, but that's also not such a big thing. I guess it's a big thing for people that meet me, because when you talk to me, that's what you see. But I do not see it. And even when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't see it anymore.
Yeah, that's very cool, and thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Yeah. Or 6th of September,
Exactly.
I've been working on a fashion show for Johnny Blas and curating the after party for it as well on a secret location. And you're already familiar with the brand, of course.
Yes.
And I was wondering what you have in mind, what you're gonna play at the after party.
So what I'm gonna play at the after party is gonna be Uzi Groovy, as usual. Since a couple of months, I think year even, I'm in my acid era. Minimal acid era, and also a lot of breakbeat, so it will be a mix of that, and of course house will be in the house always.
Nice. Yeah, well, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you would like to say to the audience?
I will say, in the world we live nowadays, just don't be scared to be bold and to be unique and to be yourself, because that's what's gonna make it. That's what's gonna make the difference, because sometimes you just wanna fit. I remember growing up, I was like, I want to fit, but actually I don't want to fit. I wanna make my own fit.
Yeah, you're unique. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Bye.